So what I want to start is to take you through a journey um, of wealth creation. But when I was in Nigeria, I was talking about I think I discussed about growth mindsets with you guys. I'm not sure whether I discussed that with you, but one of the
Yeah,
things, the major thing,
that you
one of the major things to shift your wealth, the level of wealth you have is to shift your mindset. That is why I would say to poverty and wealth is a result of a spiritual warfare. And a lot of people don't know that it's a spiritual warfare. It's a spiritual warfare. Warfare and real spiritual warfare. It's more so in Nigeria because there are lots of evil in Nigeria. And as at present in Nigeria's situation, evil is still ruling. Evil is ruling. So that's why it's even more in Nigeria. It's the same everywhere in the world. It's a spiritual warfare everywhere, even in America. It's a spiritual warfare. But it's even more in Nigeria because evil is ruling. All the people that are making it in Nigeria, they are it's because they won a spiritual war. If you don't win the spiritual war, you might make money today and lose it tomorrow. That is the story in Nigeria. And not just winning the spiritual war, you have to keep abreast with spiritual war. When I was in Nigeria, I was having deliverance in Mountain on Fire ministry every 3 months. Deliverance. And deliverance is just like, oh, whatever any spiritual attack against my destiny, I want to wave myself off it through prayers and deliverance. Everybody, you will see that most people that have succeeded in Nigeria and attained consistent success have won spiritual war. And it could be anything. There are three main um, uh, religion in Nigeria. You know, there are so many religion, but there are three main ones, right? Christianity, Islamic, and I'll call them I call it
break.
Babalawo. Babalawo, eh?
Sure.
You know, those are the spiritualists. These are the three main ones. Most people that have succeeded in Nigeria are strong in either of these three. Some people are even strong in the three. Some people will say they are Christians, they are Muslims, they are Babalawo. They do the three. And a lot of people in Nigeria do the three. You know, but the main thing is to be strong in one of them before you can succeed in Nigeria. From my experience, I know that all the other ones, the Babalawo, the Islamic, they are junior to being a strong Christian. You know, they are at a lower level. So I always say, okay, if you want to choose Christianity because you are at a higher level. You're at a higher level, you know, where the our fasts are striving. You know, if you see a Christian that is strong, you will override all of them. You override all of them. Where Babalawos are doing all their juju and all the rest, you know, when you see a Christian that knows his stand, the Babalawo cannot, you know, there's no way they can reach him because they have a higher spiritual realm. So there are levels of spiritual realm. Even in each religion, I will call it, there are levels. You know, you see Babalawo, some people will do something. Another person will go and meet another Babalawo that is stronger, right? So there are different levels. Same thing with Islam, same thing with Christianity. There are different levels. However, it's always good to start from somewhere. Oh, my first exposure to Christianity was because I had some people that were threatening to take my life. And I did not know where to run to. I was 419, right? Where I lost 1 million naira. Most of the money borrowed from people, borrowed from my company, borrowed from people. And at the same time, when I wanted to withdraw, they introduced me to some spiritualists. When I said, man, this one, I don't like, I'm not for this. I wanted to withdraw. They threatened to take my life. And I was like, ah. No, they said I was going to run mad. And I was like, if these people are powerful, then I need a stronger power that will override them. Then that's how I became a Christian. When I came into that, I realized that, yes, this is a stronger power. And I became bold to be able to address those people and say, hey, there's nothing you can do. You know, I was even going to pursue them to collect my money from them. You know, but some people advise that I should just let it go, that God will replace it. So eventually I let it go, you know. But that's activity, that's incidents introduced me that there's a strong power that I can stand and no one can be able to upturn me if I stand. So, and that is what has helped me. That's what has helped me. So that's why the foundation is spirituality. Now, it's possible to be a Christian and not know your stand. Just like it's possible to be a Muslim and not know your stand. It's possible to be a spiritualist and not know your stand. And that happens a lot. People don't know their stand. You know, so it depends on how you know what are your rights and how can you stand on your rights. So that's the first level. The second level is to have a mind shift. A mind shift. One of the things that God has given to us is that whatever we set our mind to do, we can achieve it. Whatever we set our mind to do. Now, what happens in most cases is that you can set your mind to do something, and when you start having obstacles, you get discouraged. And that has to do with your level of spirituality as well. You get discouraged, or you might get disappointments. And disappointments can be so bad. And understanding the spiritual aspect of it is very, very important, because the Bible, I use the Bible as my own reference, okay? And I found out that it's common in all the religions. All these things that we are quoting in the Bible, it's common in all the religions, but that they do it in a different way. So the Bible says the devil has come to steal, to kill, to destroy. So the devil is not going to allow you to be successful. He wants to destroy. He wants to kill. He wants to steal. But it says, I have come to give you abundance, to give you life and life in abundance. So when you now realize that, hey, the devil is going to do everything to stop you from being successful. And when I say the devil uses agents. Okay? The agents are the evil people that are reigning in Nigeria. Those are the agents of the devil. They clamp themselves in different courts, different, you hear Ogboni, you hear what's that popular one in Nigeria that all the politicians belong to? Group here. That most of the people, Olumba. No, it's not. Yeah, Olumba one there, but they I've forgotten now. Maybe I'll remember that group. That's where most of the politicians, in fact, by the time you rise to a high level in Nigeria, they will introduce you to that club. And if you don't join them, they will find a way to bring you down. That's why you see a lot of people, they rise up and they go down. Only the people that are strong that can face them, that will be able to win that battle. So, and on the smaller level, their act is to steal from other people, to steal the Yoruba. Maybe Wallace can help me. Your glory. They steal your glory. You don't know. You think it's normal. You think it's okay. I mean, you think you are just you are not just lucky. It's because some people are probably stealing your glory. And they have a way of manipulating this thing. So being aware, being spiritually alert is so important to success. But there's one thing that overcome all those spiritual things. There's just one thing that overcome it. And that one thing is a determination to succeed. A determination to succeed overcomes spiritual barriers. Because God has given us a mind that whatever we set our mind to do, we will achieve it. How does it overcome spiritual barriers? Even when they come against you, God will show you a way out. Why? Because of your determination in your mind. Maybe God will introduce you to a higher spiritual realm that will make you to overcome those barriers. So that's the way. That's one thing I know that the devil cannot stand. That's a book I'm going to ask you guys to read. It's on YouTube, but you can buy it because YouTube takes data, right? So you can buy it. Most of the books in Nigeria, I bought 10 books in Nigeria. I don't know. You are aware now. I bought them for like less than 2,000 naira, and I bought it in traffic. I want to display in Yaba, 1,000 naira. The books are cheap in Nigeria. And you know the reason why? Because Nigeria lot in publisher. Nigeria will respect the copyright. Nigeria ma print it for I hope you know that they are doing that business. Just like Maruf, when they take cassette tape, They will take cassette and musicians and can duplicate it. Same thing they do for books. So that's why they are so cheap to buy in Nigeria. Imagine buying those books we buy them for like $15 here, and they're selling it for 1,000 naira in Nigeria. You can imagine how cheap it is. So that's why when I come to Nigeria, I buy books because they are cheap. You can imagine $15. So we multiply it by 1,700 naira, be able to exchange rate. Eh? That's how much I will use to buy it if I come here. So you guys are having these things cheap. The book is called Outwitting the Devil. I'm going to send it to you. It's not one of the books I wrote before, but it tells you how the spiritual war is and how determination to succeed overcome spiritual barriers. It overcomes spiritual barriers. So if you grab that, then let's talk about determination to succeed. Because determination to succeed overcomes spiritual barriers. Okay? So in determination to succeed, you need a mind shift. A mind shift. And having a mind shift is not easy. Why is it not easy? Because you have to be conscious of what your mind is thinking at every minute. You have to be conscious. One, you have to have a goal that you want to achieve. Two, you have to be conscious of your mind. What is your mind telling you? What's your mind flashing at every minute? So I'm just going to go through some slides, and I'm going to go through it real fast because normally when I do this training is about 2.5 hours, 3 hours training. So I'm going to rush through it, but I'll send you the slides later. So I'm going to share my screen now. So this is just the introduction. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So this is just the introduction. So mind shift in wealth creation. So I'm going to give you what we're going to wrap up now in the next few minutes. Don't follow these 15 minutes. This 15 minutes is standard time, but we're going to do it much less than that. Introduction, understanding the wealth and sustainability, mindset shift exercise. We're going to do some exercise, and we're going to create some personal visions and goals, and we wrap up. Okay, so understanding wealth and sustainability. So I'm going to try to define wealth. Let me change my let me change it to this slideshow to presenter view. So I'm going to try to define wealth and self-sustainability. So, and maybe discuss some myths about wealth and highlight the importance of a growth mindset. So, wealth is not just about money. Okay? Having an asset is wealth. Having a skill that you can use to make money is wealth. You know, having opportunities to live a comfortable life is wealth. So if you have a house that you are staying, you are not paying for, you know, you have acquired a level of wealth, because a lot of people don't even have a house they can live in. You know, they are thinking about if they're going to send them out of the house tomorrow. So being able to eat every day is wealth, But let's talk about being able to achieve your goals. So true wealth is not being able to worry about your next meal. How do you pay yourself? How do you buy what you need and all that? So if you don't worry about all that, at least you have achieved a level of wealth. So it also includes, if you own a piece of land, you're having wealth, you have a house, you have steady income, you have savings, all those are part of being on the journey of wealth. But sustainability is another aspect of wealth that we need to achieve before we can really set our mind to achieving our goals. Okay. And sustainability includes not depending on other people. That is, you are self-sustaining. You are self-sustaining. I'm coming now. This my daughter is having. Yeah, sit down, sit down. Sit down there. So, not being able to depend on other people is what we call sustainability. That is, you can generate income that will pay for everything you need. So, I'm going to go straight to some myth about wealth. Okay, so common myth. So wealth is only for the lucky or privileged. Is that true? No. That's a misconception, because a lot of people think it's only people that have wealth are lucky. That are wealthy are lucky. They are not. Everything has to do with mindset. Yes, some people are born into wealth, no doubt. But they are not really wealthy. They're not really wealthy if you don't have a self-sustainability. You're not really wealthy. So if the person does not have a means of sustaining himself or herself, even though you are born into money, you have money all around you, if you cannot generate that income yourself, the wealth will soon disappear. It might not disappear in your generation. And when we talk about wealth, we're talking about wealth at least 4 generations. So it's not only you. It has to be your children, your children, children, your children, children, children. So wealth covers at least 4 generations. In the Bible, it says it covers 1,000 generations. So we're not going to that. Let's just limit it to 4 generations. So if you say you are wealthy, children must be able to participate in that wealth. Your children, children, your children, children, children. So anybody that is born into a rich family, and because you have some money around you that you can spend anyhow, it does not mean you are wealthy. If you cannot generate income by yourself, that wealth will disappear within that 4 generations. And we have seen so many examples in Nigeria. That wealth will disappear within that 4 generations. So you are not really wealthy if you cannot sustain it over 4 generations. You need a lot of money to start a business. That's not true. In many cases, people are given money, big money. You see the people that win lottery. Somebody win lottery, $10 million. And in 2 years, that person is broke. Why? Money is not wealth. You don't need money to start a business. You don't need big money to start a business. If you have big money and your mindset is not prepared for it, you will lose that money. And that's happened to me too. It's happened to me. I've lost money where my mindset was not prepared for that level of money. Money find a way to go to people that have their mind is set for that level of income. Period. So that is why having lots of money is not wealth. So you need to work hard. You need to work hard, really hard, to make money. You need to work hard, but hard work is not money. You only make money when you have a goal set and your mind is made up. You are determined to meet that goal, and you are determined to do everything that is required to meet that goal, and you are doing it. You are working hard towards it. That is only when hard work counts. But just working hard and not having a goal that you set and not having your mind prepared to do whatever it takes to meet that goal and not being spiritually strong to ward off all the attacks, you just work hard and you see that your hard work is not generating not much. You'll be making money, but you see that the money is like you are still struggling. That's why hard work alone is not wealth. Okay. So let's look at two other ones. Then we leave the common myths. Aha. This one, this one is common. You can't be wealthy because you are in Nigeria. That's not true. A lot of people are wealthy in Nigeria. I've met people that had nothing, but they make money in Nigeria. And all of them, all the people that I know that have made money in Nigeria, they are spiritually strong. That's the first breakthrough. The first breakthrough is spiritual breakthrough. Then when you have spiritual breakthrough, then whatever you now set your mind to do, you can now be able to get results because you have won the spiritual warfare. You have won the spiritual warfare. Then you can now be getting it. Without winning that spiritual warfare, you will be struggling. You'll be working hard and you're not seeing anything. But the thing is, when you are determined and you are focused and you are determined, God will direct you to where you are going to get spiritually strong. That's why I said determination overcome even though spiritual background, because God recognizes that when you are determined and you are ready to do what it takes, God will direct you to where you're going to get spiritually strong. And from there, you start making wealth. Now, I've talked about growth mindsets a lot of times. How growth mindset is different from some limiting mindsets, So, growth mindset is that belief that you can develop whatever it takes to have a growth mindset towards abundance. You can develop it. That's what growth mindset is saying. That whatever you lack now, you can develop it. You can develop it through reading. Books are number one thing that can help your growth mindset. Books. That's why I'm going to be recommending a lot of books for you guys to read. And I want you to read it. Read it like you are preparing for an exam. Okay? That's one thing that can help your mindset to shift. Okay? Coming for maybe activities like this help too, but not like reading on your own. Reading on your own makes a whole lot of difference. When you are reading a book, you see your mind being fired up. It's like your okay, you know you are 3 in 1, right? You are a spirit, mind, and body. I hope you know that. That's part of the spirituality. You have to recognize that you are 3 in 1 person, just like God is 3 in 1. You yourself too, you are 3 in 1. So you have your spirit, your mind, that which is your soul and your body. So spirit, soul, and body. So when you are reading, this is what happens when you are reading. When you are reading, your soul gets introduced to your spirit. Your soul gets in line with your spirit. So your spirit is downloading some things onto your soul, onto your mind as you are reading. So when you are reading, your reading is an activity that brings the body, the soul, and the spirit into unity. And that level of unity is a level of victory over spiritual battles. Okay? So that's why reading is so powerful, because of that unity that happens when you read. So, and you have to choose what you read carefully. And that's why I'm recommending books to you, that when you read some of these books, you can really see yourself. So it's like you are reading, and you'll be seeing your spirit. You'll be seeing your spirit talking to you, even while you are reading. So those are some of the things some of these books are going to give you. Okay. And when you read and you see your spirit, make sure you have a notebook, because your spirit downloads your own spirit. Your own spirit interprets that what you are reading to you. And that is what you want to write down, what your spirit downloads to you. That thing that your spirit is telling you at that time when you are reading the book, is God speaking to you about your future. Is God speaking to you about your future? That's why it's good to write it down, because that is what you are going to use to do whatever you are going to do going forward. So while you are reading and your spirit downloads some things to you and you write it down, what you are going to do next is start planning on that thing that you wrote down. Start making plans on that. That is where your breakthrough is going to come from. Okay? That is why nobody can introduce any strategy to succeed to you. Nobody. Some people can suggest to you. I can suggest, oh, do this, do that, do that. But the ultimate is the one your spirit download onto you, onto your soul, onto your mind. You know, your soul is your mind, okay? So whatever your spirit download onto your mind is the real thing that's going to help you to succeed. Okay? That's why you cannot follow other people. You cannot be following other people. Because this person does this. Because this person does this. Me too, I will do it. You know, it doesn't work. It might work a little bit, but very soon you meet an obstacle and you don't know what to do. Okay? Maybe economy upturn. Maybe COVID. You know, those are obstacles. Maybe Nigeria just devalue the currency anyhow. There are obstacles. A lot of people in businesses have collapsed because of obstacles. But the people that follow what their mind tells them, they survive. Why? Because the same mind that tells you what to do during the time of those disasters, those emergencies, you know, your mind gives you a way out as well. So having to depend on yourself for the way forward is one of the most important steps towards success. That is, you are not relying on what people tell you. You are not relying on what the economy is saying. You are not relying on anything. You are relying on yourself. And when I say you are relying on yourself, you are relying on what your spirit tells you. So one of the lessons you want to learn is that you have a spirit that's going to guide you onto success. But your soul, which is your mind, is not in alliance with that spirit. It's not in alliance with that spirit yet. Because the spirit is operating on one level, your soul is operating on another level. So they are not in unity. So the first thing you want to get is the unity of your spirit, soul, and body. And one of those ways you can achieve that is through reading. Okay? So, and in the slides I'm going to send to you, tells you about importance of growth mindsets, you know, and how to build resilience and perseverance, you know, how to shift from a limitation to possibilities. That's very important too. How to shift from limitations to possibilities. Because the first thing your mind tells you when you have a goal of what you want to achieve, the first thing that comes to your mind is limitation. And it happens to everybody, including Elon Musk, the richest man in the world. It happens to everybody. Limitations happen. You know, what is limitation? Limitation is, hey, that thing is impossible. You cannot achieve that. So, how to shift from limitations to possibilities? The strategy to shift from limitation to possibilities is crucial towards success. And you also achieve that through reading. Through reading. Okay. So, and you have to learn how to set a goal. Goal setting is very important. Goal setting, I say goal setting is related to what you want, what has been going on in your mind over years. Over years. The reason is because God has been speaking to you about your future. But most of us have ignored it because we think it's not possible. So we ignore it. So if you can get to a situation where you can, and we're going to do a little exercise, you know, at the end, where we want to look back and write down all the things that God has been telling us, right from when you are young, I'll say right from age, I use age 7, right from age 7. What has God been telling you? You know, you want to write all those things down. And we're going to look at it and see your goal setting and your vision will be based on that thing that you have written down. Okay. And creativity comes from your spirit. Okay. What your spirit is telling you is what's going to lead you to creativity. And confidence comes from research. Researching what that thing about that vision you have or that goal you have, researching into it on how it can be possible gives you confidence. Okay. And of course, we always believe having a long-term thinking helps you to overcome those initial obstacles. So we're going to do some practical steps to develop a growth mindset. Like I said, we're going to look at some of those things, you know, that will help us to look at build a growth mindset. And we're going to do some mind shift exercises as well. Okay, so I will just go through some of those beliefs. Okay, look at this limiting belief. I can't start a business because I don't have money. That's one of the limiting beliefs, right? We're going to overcome that in our exercises. So we're going to also have a group discussion. Group discussion that is between those of us here. We're going to have some group discussion to be able to overcome those beliefs, those limiting beliefs. And probably we can do a role play. Okay. So the first thing is to learn is that you can learn any skill that will help you to achieve success. And you know that these days, almost everything is online. Almost everything is online. Almost everything is online, and everything is in books. Everything is in books. You just have to get the right book to read. And books are the most powerful thing that will help us to succeed. And that's why God told Moses to go and write it down. God wrote 10 commandments for Moses. God did not put it in here. He wrote it down. So every successful person have written something down that you can use. So being able to search out those materials is what helps us to be able to know how to overcome, to be able to know the way forward. So if I'm looking for something, I want to do, and I don't know how to go about it, the first thing I want to do is to find out which book. So the research I'm doing first is to find out which book is going to teach me how to achieve this. And once I get the book, then I go and buy the book. And I start reading that book. And before you know it, I'm able to move forward with that thing. So you want to develop, not ability, you want to develop the flair for reading, Okay. So one of the exercises we are going to do is to write down negative thoughts. So we are going to exercise this now. Okay. During in the next 7 days, we want to write down any negative thoughts that comes to your mind. Negative thoughts that comes to your mind. And when I mean negative thoughts, are thoughts that says something is impossible, or something you want to achieve is impossible, or anything that is not going to give you a positive result. Any thoughts that is telling you you're not going to get a good result, it's a negative thought. It's a negative thought. So any thought that says you cannot achieve your goals is a negative thought. So the first thing we are going to do is to write down your goals. So you're going to write down your long-term goals. Long-term goals means like 10 years. Okay. You're going to write down middle-term goals. Middle-term goals is like 5 years. And you're going to write short-term goals. Short-term goals is like next 3 months to 2 years. Okay. So usually I say start from long-term goals. Then derive some 5-year goals from that long-term goal. Then you derive the short-term goal from the middle-term goal. So for example, what do you want to achieve in the next 10 years? In the next 10 years, you know, oh, I want to, like me now, I'm into training and empowerment. Okay. I say, oh, I want to empower 100 million people to be entrepreneurs. Okay. And I can say my middle-term goal is, being able to empower 5,000 people or 50,000 people. And my short-term goal is being able to empower 100 people. So, like that. Now, it could be money as well. It could be you want to make in the next 10 years, you want to make 100 billion naira. And in the next 5 years, you want to make 1 billion naira or 10 billion naira. But in the next 3 months to 2 years, you want to make 100 million naira. That's a goal. Okay. So write down those goals, send it to me. Then when you write down those goals, write down what you want to do to achieve those goals. So write down your goals, write down what you want to give to achieve those goals. So if you say you want to make 100 billion naira, what products or service are you going to give? Are you going to give to exchange for 100 billion naira? Because money is a means of exchange. Okay, you exchange maybe a product you are selling or a service you are giving for that money. So are you able to identify what product or service you are going to give to get that income in the next 10 years? Okay, so that product or service that you want to give, let's start working on that on a short-term basis. Okay, so apart from getting the product or service, then you are going to write down, number 3, you are going to write down how much work you think it requires to achieve that goal on a short-term basis. How much work? Maybe 5 hours a day, 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day. How much work will it require? That includes reading, that includes research, that includes doing the work. Then, I haven't written down how much work that it will take. Then you're going to now, that's when we now come to growth mindsets. Okay, you're going to write down the limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs are things that could make you not to achieve that. Maybe common things that people say, or even things that come to your mind. Okay. Then the 5th one, you're gonna write counter beliefs. Counter beliefs to those limiting beliefs that will counteract that. So we do that exercise in my house. So I can't play soccer. I get injured every time I play soccer. That's a limiting belief. Okay. And I want to write a counter belief. I will play soccer and I'll make sure I'm not injured. And I'm going to be good at it, yet I will not be injured. That's a counter belief. Now, in reality, it might be injured, but the counter belief haven't grown in your mind so much. Even when you are injured, you get up. Doctor, the injury will heal and you get back to soccer. Right? So we're going to have counter beliefs. So everybody has limiting beliefs. Like I said, everybody has limiting beliefs. I go through limiting beliefs every day. So what I do is I also write down counter beliefs because I know those limiting beliefs are not true. They are not, they are the facts. They are not the truth. So there's a difference between truth and fact. Yes, there could be a fact that Nigeria economy is bad. It's a fact. But it's a limiting belief. You know, it's not the truth, because you can create truth for yourself. You can create truth for yourself. You can tell yourself that Nigeria economy is buoyant, even though in reality, you are seeing that it's not buoyant. But you can tell yourself Nigeria economy is buoyant. So that's the counter belief. That counter belief is what we are going to work on to overcome those limited beliefs. And this is how beliefs work. And this is how the minds work. So how many times do you think of that limited belief? And how many times do you think of that counter belief? That's the way the mind works. The mind is at your service. The mind is a tool God has given to us at our service. Whatever you give it is what will give you back. If you sow poison, your mind gives you back poison. If you sow good crops, your mind gives you back good fruits. That's the way the mind works, okay? And that's why we're going to do a lot of mind exercises. So if your mind is thinking about those limiting beliefs 10 times a day, and your mind is thinking about those counter beliefs 1 time a day, guess what will happen? What do you think will happen? The limiting beliefs is what will hold you, what will suffice. But if you can put through a mind shift that your mind has a limiting belief 2 times a day, and your mind has counter belief, those counter positive belief 10 times a day, and you keep that every day, at the end of the day, it's the counter beliefs that will suffice. And once the counter beliefs suffice, and you can emotionalize it, it goes to your subconscious mind and it starts coming out of your words. You just see yourself speaking those things, and not only speaking those things, acting in line with that thing you have spoken. And that's how the mind works. So that's the exercise we're going to do. Oh, that way, Chico Koro. Walex. Okay. Walex, you are still on, Abby? So that's how we're going to that's what we're going to end with today. So let me review the exercises we're going to do. Okay. So the first one is to write down your long-term goals, your medium-term goals, and your short-term goals. Okay. So secondly is to write down what product or service that you want to give to achieve in exchange to achieve those goals. Then number 3 is to find out what it requires, what work is required. Okay. The fourth one is to write down limiting beliefs that could stop you from achieving that goal. And the fifth one is to write down counter beliefs. So, and this is a training as well, because you have to train yourself. To achieve those to be able to write down limiting beliefs and counter beliefs is not a simple exercise. I want us to realize it's not a simple exercise. It's a conscious exercise that we have to do. We have to train ourselves to do. So, and maybe next time we meet, if you submit all these things to me, then I can be able to help you to be able to know how to detect limiting beliefs and how to write counter beliefs, how to imagine counter beliefs. Okay. Counter beliefs doesn't have to be a fact, but you can imagine it. You can imagine something that's a positive belief that will counter that limiting belief, and you want to now see how do you play your mind to do that. So those are the 5 things that I want to do. Okay, for next week. Those are the 5 things. I hope we wrote it down. So long-term goal, medium-term goal, short-term goal. That's first one. Second one is product or service. And when you're thinking about product or service, I told you, think about what your mind has been telling you. What God has been telling you from age 7. Huh? You want to get product or service. Think about what God has been telling you for so many years. Okay? Then find out what work is required. Then write down limiting beliefs and write down counter beliefs. So that's the five things we're going to do. Okay. And the book we're going to read, 2 books we're going to read against next week. Number 1, I think I already sent the books to you. Number 1 is the Richest Man in Babylon. I think maybe we'll just limit to 1 book for now. Just read Richest Man in Babylon by George Clason. And we're going to discuss what we learned from that book and how we're going to apply it to our lesson. So Richest Man in Babylon. And I say, when you read those books, please read it like a textbook. They are not novels. Read it like a textbook. Get your note and paper, your something to write with. Take notes, and then we can discuss on your notes. Okay. So that's the what we're going to do against next week. Any question? So let me now open to your questions. So any questions you want to ask?
I don't have question for now.
Yeah. Do you understand?
For now.
But do you understand what
Yeah, I understood all what we discussed.
Okay. What about Wolex? Wolex probably not available. Anyway, what I can do, I will send this recording to you guys, and I will send the slides to you as well, so you can go through it on your spare time. Okay. Like I maybe I didn't mention this before. This kind of exercise is a workshop I normally do, and it takes at least 2 to 3 hours to deliver this workshop. Okay. But I'm just being mindful of time. That's why I kind of rush it. You see that I did not go in details in each slide. I'm just pointing out a few things on each slide. But you can read on your own on the slides. Then we can discuss next time we meet. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So please do the exercise and read the book. That's the major thing. Do the exercise. I give you the exercise, 5 things you are going to do. Then read the book and take your notes. Then want to discuss on the exercise and the notes next week Monday. Then we cannot be able to now narrow down, okay, what product and service you're going to give. Then how are you going to now develop that product or service to achieve your goals? That's what we want to discuss next week. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. So we'll see next week.
Bye, sir.
All right. Whatever.
No.
Yeah, I'm almost ready. You look nice though. I like that shirt. Doesn't have